Hi guys, thanks for tuning in again. I'm Ian with Forgotten Weapons, and I was at a big gun show this past weekend and had an experience that I figure has happened to a bunch of you folks as well. I was poking around some tables and found a handful of interesting looking Mosin Nagant rifles. Not necessarily Mosin Nagants, but just anything in general. You know what the common ones look like, and then you find something different. And you're sitting there at the table looking at a price tag wondering, is this different because it's rare and cool and collectible and valuable, or is this different because Bubba with a hacksaw did it to the rifle and it actually makes the gun worth nothing? Well, the one way to find out is to get some good books on the subject. So in this case, Mosin Nagants, I went and picked up a copy of the Mosin Nagant rifle by Terence Lapin. I should say I did splurge and buy a couple of the rifles just in case they were really neat. And it turns out, as I found out, several of them were. The organization in this book is a little bit unusual. He starts off by having a section on each distinct element of the Mosin Nagant rifle. So there will be a section on the front sight, and then a section on the stocks, and a section on triggers, rather than discussing each specific type of rifle as a complete unit. So I found this a little awkward at first, but the more I thought about it, the more I actually started using the book to try and figure out what these rifles I bought were, the more sense this organization actually made. I was able to take a look at my rifle and say, well, I can't look this up in an index as a check conversion, because I don't know what those guns actually look like. But what I can do is flip to the section on, say, the front band, and look through and see what kind of front band I have. And that allows me to identify the rifle. And then I can go on and look at other pieces, the rear sight, the trigger, the buttstock. So that's how the book is primarily organized. After you get through all the main components of the gun, he does also have a history of the Mosin Nagant rifle in general, the different countries that used them, and when they were developed and what changes were made. And that's really interesting reading. Finally, at the very end, there is a final section on accessories and bayonets, things like slings and oil pouches, which is also good to have. It's always fun to have the accessories that go along with the rifle. So why don't we take a closer look inside so you can see what you'd be getting with this. So to take a look inside the book, just figured we'd take a look at a couple sample pages here. This one, for example, is on upper handguards. You can see that there are pictures of a couple different variants of the various upper handguards that were used, and a description of what type of rifles used which ones. So as you can see, the pictures aren't prize-winning artwork, but they definitely show you the differences in the pieces. Another good example would be this page on rear sights. Again, simple but effective illustrations showing you the differences between the rear sights that can be found. And lastly, one part I thought was pretty cool. There's an appendix in the back of various markings that are found on all types of Mosin Nagant rifles. And this is just one of those things that's really helpful to have written down and available to look at. So a lot of information contained in the appendix here. So as you can see, the illustrations aren't they're not going to win any prizes, but they definitely convey the information necessary. So at the price, I think this is definitely a book worth getting. I know I appreciate having read through this copy, and definitely deserves a place in my library. And if you're at all interested in the Mosin Nagant, I think this is a good book to add to your library as well. So you can take a look below, and there's a link where you can pick this up at Amazon. And I hope you do, and hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching.